Frenzy is upon us. 2 got approved. Another one got approval for a conversion. We have Cardano. We have Bitcoin. We have Ethereum. We have Solana. We have XRP. We have Dogecoin. Now you might be saying, well, I didn't hear the news that Dogecoin or Cardano or Solana got approved. One trust was allowed to convert into a spot ETF. That one is from Grayscale. The numbers are blowing the experts away. The Doge ETF has blown the volume expectations away. Same with the XRP. What does this mean moving forward? Is October going to be the most bullish month for altcoins that we've seen in any cycle due to the ETFs? Or are we going to see something similar to what we saw when the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETF went live, when we saw 6 to 8 months of consolidation? We're going to have that important discussion. We have Drew from Hit Network joining us from the blockchain basement in about 30 minutes to give his thoughts on today's news. We're going to talk about RWAs. We're going to talk about BNB hitting $1,000. It was just 6 years ago. It was at $8. We're talking about more than 100x in 6 years. Are there any other exchange tokens? We know Rob's been talking about exchange tokens over the last couple of months. Does he have any favorites that can make a BNB style run in the next 4 to 6 years? I'll get his thoughts on that. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about Cardano, the SNEC proposal, and the big partnership news out of India. So with that being said, roll the intro. Welcome back. I'm David. As you can see here, my boy Rob. He's not with me at the desk, but he's with me in spirit. When I say when he's with me in spirit, I mean he's producing the show today. So we'll have Rob come in here in a second. My boy's ready. Oh, damn. What's up, Rob?
Bro, hey, what's happening?
Also, hello to our friend Antoine running the boards over there on audio. Bitcoin. I think I was wrong. I said we're going to see a dump. We didn't. I was wrong. I lost money on a trade, but that's okay. That's okay. You win some, you lose some. We made money on the other ones. We made money on Cardano. We made money on Athena. And so, Rob, I just want to get your thoughts real quick about what we saw yesterday after the FOMC meeting. Are you surprised we saw a rally? Bitcoin's currently sitting at 117.5. Or is it something you kind of expected? What are your kind of thoughts 24 hours post FOMC?
I would say I'm not surprised. You know, the thing is I've been pretty bullish on Bitcoin price action after the meeting, and I've been disappointed time and time again. And so I was a little hesitant. I was like, man, I really feel like this rate cut should line up well for Bitcoin. Also, you take into account that you have the U.S. economy doing well, stock market's in all-time high territory, gold is in all-time high territory, the system is leaning more towards money printing as far as cutting rates and incentivizing people to borrow money and to lubricate the economy with fresh fiat. Now,
lubricate the economy,
yeah. So I is expecting it, but I also thought that we were going to get a few days of some chop, you know, some up and down price action between the 118 and 114, but we just slowly climbed higher to 118. We didn't hit 118 briefly yesterday or last night. Also, you're starting to see Avalanche perform pretty well. Yeah. Avalanche is something that's been kind of behind the other layer ones recently. We did see Avalanche as high as $33, but it's got a little bit of volatility. It's back around $30. But I mean, Avalanche, I think it's up a lot.
What the last, like 3 months. What is Aster?
I don't know.
Are you seeing this? Look at this. Take a peek at this. Up 280% on the day. Aster here on CoinMarketCap. If you want to push this through. Do you know what this is? It sounds like a polka dot parachain.
There's always...
It's a BNB play.
There's always a new project on CoinMarketCap. I don't pay much attention.
You know what,
to
dude?
market cap, man.
Here's a trend we're seeing. Go back to CoinMarketCap here real quick. Remember the other coin, Rob, that we were talking about? We're like, we don't even know what this is. What is this? We kept seeing it on top gainers, and it was MYX, correct? MYX Finance. So I was like, you know what is this thing? A decentralized exchange, perpetual futures, okay? And look at what just hit the top 100, and it's the largest gainer, Aster, which, hey, look, it's a decentralized exchange offering perpetual and spot futures. We've talked about this. This is our case for Hyperliquid, okay? Was perpetual futures and futures trading is coming to the United States, and there's going to be a run at the U.S. consumer, a run at the U.S. trader. And we're seeing it. MYX, Hyperliquid. I don't think Jupiter's performed fairly well, but with the airdrop coming up, could that be the next runner? How high can Hyperliquid go? I know I've thrown out a number of 100 billion in market cap, which would be like a 6x or 5.5, 6x from where it is right now. But you're seeing the trend. And so you're also seeing a trend of the exchange tokens, which we'll get into here in a second. But I want to start with the theme of today's show, which is ETF frenzy. Take a look at this from our friend James Seifert over at Bloomberg. The SEC has approved generic listing standards. So we're going to start in the beginning. Then we'll go through what's gotten approved and what's in the process of being approved. So the SEC has approved generic listing standards for commodity-based trust shares, aka crypto ETFs. This is the crypto ETP framework we've been waiting for. Get ready for a wave of spot crypto ETP launches in the coming weeks and months. For those that are not familiar with the vernacular, ETP and ETF are interchangeable. It's the same thing. Exchange-traded products or exchange-traded funds, it's literally the same thing. And so there's the link for the approval order. We also had this from Nate Garassi. His thoughts on the new rule. SEC should be applauded. 2 years ago, the previous SEC was still battling grayscale over a spot Bitcoin. How far we've come. Talk about giving credit to Grayscale for fighting the fight. This is a comment from SEC's Jamie Selway. By approving these generic listing standards, we are ensuring that our capital markets remain the best place in the world to engage in the cutting-edge innovation of digital assets. This approval helps to maximize investor choice and foster innovation by streamlining the listing process and reducing barriers to access digital products within America's trusted capital markets. Okay? So what happens? Crypto ETF floodgates are about to open. Expect an absolute deluge of new filings and launches. You may not like it, but crypto is going mainstream via the ETF wrapper. And ETFs will serve as the perfect bridge between TradFi and DeFi. Rob, do you agree that with Nate's comment here, ETF will serve as the perfect bridge between TradFi and DeFi? Or do you think is there anything else that you think would be the perfect bridge?
I mean, how else is Wall Street supposed to buy?
Like the
crypto?
Rest of us? Duh.
No, I mean,
Spot.
honestly, like how if you are a Wall Street trader and your accounts are all traded on Wall Street, like how are you supposed to buy? Like I mean, it's almost like a no-brainer, right? It's like saying everyone's transactions are going to be on the internet for everyday individuals. Like, you know what? All your online orders are going to be through the internet. It's going to be crazy. And then, yeah, all of Wall Street's transactions are going to be through ETFs, and it's pretty cut and simple and dry on that one, man. I don't know. I mean, is there? Just tell me, is there another way for people on Wall Street to buy crypto that's not an ETF?
Well, he said DeFi and TradFi, right? That was Nate's kind of statement, was the perfect bridge between DeFi and TradFi. I would argue the perfect bridge is probably tokenization. To me, that would make the most sense. Not saying that ETFs aren't important or that they're not a key role. They're not going to play a key role in bringing over Web 2 to Web 3. But I don't know. When we talk about DeFi and TradFi, I don't know. I think tokenization makes more sense. tokenizing your stock, tokenizing your commodity, your asset, and allowing it to be traded 24/7 on the blockchain. I think that's valuable, which we are seeing. It's not one or the other, it's both. It was just an interesting comment that he made. I want to answer a question from the chat. Me, when I was younger, asked about the D-King token migration. I have a Discord link pinned to the top. So anyone who forgot to migrate to the new Sire token, very simple process. Click on the link, go to their Discord, open a support ticket. They're going to ask you for your wallet address. They're going to ask you to send your D-King tokens to the Score Treasury, the DAO. You send it, then you send them the transaction hash, and it takes them a few days, and you'll get your Sire tokens. Pretty simple. So those of you that missed the deadline, you can do that as long as you bought the coins before August 28th, which obviously if you didn't, then you would have bought the new token. Okay. Now we got all right, we have framework. We're going to do this. We're going to pass them. We got that out of the way. 2 went live today. 2 spot ETFs went live today. Here's number 1, Doge. DOJE, and I believe they're both from Rex Osprey. This is Eric Balkunas, who is the senior ETF analyst. This is literally all this man does is follow ETFs, study ETFs, track their metrics, track their numbers. My over-under got destroyed in the first hour of trading as Doge already posting nearly 6 million in volume. Now, these aren't Bitcoin numbers or Ethereum numbers, but again, blow it out of the water. That's shockingly solid. Most ETFs, look at this one. Most ETFs trade under 1 million from day one. Okay. And Doge has 6x that. His over under was 2.5. So he was more bullish than the typical ETFs, but still 6 million in trading for the Dogecoin ETF. Let's take a look at a Dogecoin chart. Let's see if we see any sort of price action reflecting what we saw. Not really. This is Doge on the daily. Today it is actually up. Today it's up 0.25%. As many percentage points as Jerome Powell cut the interest rates yesterday. So as of right now, it's a non-factor, but we do know, from my understanding, that the buys get settled at the end of the trading day or at the end of the trading week. And so you're not going to see those buys, and I'm assuming those buys are probably going to happen OTC anyways. So we're kind of in the similar situation of, okay, well, they're all happening OTC, which doesn't affect the markets. Eventually, and I'm show a stat on how much illiquid Bitcoin is currently circulating right now, or not circulating right now. So the question a lot of people are asking, myself too, is, are we expecting a Bitcoin, Ethereum style run with the ETFs and price action? Or do you think it's going to have more of a resounding, immediate impact? I'll ask Rob that question after I show the next one that went live today from Rex Osprey. The XRP ETF, XRPP, is already at 24 million in volume. So the baseline is 1 million. Doge hit 6. XRP hit 4x that, 24 million. That is way more than what I have thought. Again, this is Eric Balkunas. For context, it is 5 times more than any of the XRP futures ETFs did on day one, and it's only been less than 2 hours. So, Rob, obviously this tells us Wall Street's been waiting and excited to participate in the crypto economy. The important question here is, do we see similar price action out of XRP, Doge, and all the other ones that are about to get listed, including Solana, Hedera, Cardano, Litecoin, and on and on and on? Or do you think this has a more immediate impact on the price action? What are your thoughts, and what should people expect?
All right, so these are futures-based trading?
No, these are spot.
So
I had to double check. These are spot.
So the XRP spot ETF got approved?
From Rex Osprey, yes.
They got approved and they're already buying?
Correct. It's being traded right now.
You sure? I feel like that would have
positive.
been like smacked a million times over. And
Well, yeah,
on my news feed.
I double checked, so you can either talk about it or you can sit there and ponder whether it's true.
I mean, the thing is that Rex Osprey has done futures trading ETFs before. They're like the leader in futures trading.
Correct.
So,
but this is
the spot ones that I saw listed through, I mean, I don't know. This is the first time I've heard of a spot being passed. I didn't even see the headline for it. It just doesn't make sense to me, bro. I think it's futures based. I don't know.
Let's see. It's not, but just to get you to not sit there and ponder whether it's true or not. Here, I was looking at the Doge one. So DOJE. Today, we're excited to launch the DOJE, the first ETF offering exposure to spot Doge in the U.S. Here, show this on the screen so people can see. XRPR or PP, the first ETF offering exposure to spot XRP in the U.S. This is directly from Rex Osprey.
It's offering exposure to the spot.
Bro, you're overthinking it, bro. It's passed. It's a spot ETF.
Okay. I don't have any. I honestly, bro, like I haven't even. I'm just like sitting here. I'm like, okay, cool. So there's an ETF pass. I don't even know about the numbers. I didn't know they passed, man.
Well, lucky for you, you have a great co-host who told you the numbers, who told you that it's passed. And my simple question to you, my friend, because you're very intuition based, and there's really no data to prove that it's going to perform this way or it's going to perform this way. So my question to you is, what is your sentiment on, are we going to see something similar? I think a lot of people are worried. ETF pass for Ethereum, 6 months of lull. ETF pass for Bitcoin, we reached an all-time high, 6 months of lull. Do you expect the same from Doge, XRP, and the rest of the ETFs are going to be approved over the next month?
I don't know, man. I'm just surprised, dude. I mean, here's the thing. I've been setting up the show last minute. I had zero idea that any ETFs got approved. I didn't see it on my news feed. It's the first time I've heard it. And so I don't really, I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't have any insight on it, man.
Okay.
I really, truly don't. I know you want me to like stand up here and cheer. It's cool. I know I want more information. I'm sitting here kind of like, I'm trying to pull up my phone and switch cameras at the same time. And like, I'm trying to find out, like, hey, why did they not pass? Why did Bitwise not pass? Why did all the other ones not pass? Why is it only Rex? How come, why wasn't there an announcement? Like, I don't know. I'm just genuinely curious. And if you want my personal opinion on it, I need to research it. I haven't researched it at all. I wasn't even aware of it. That's just where I'm at right now. I know you want to answer from me, man. I don't know. You want me to say like ETFs are good? Cheer. Yes, ETFs are great. Awesome.
The Rob side said, bro is shocked. So I think timing matters. I think when you look at Bitcoin and Ethereum's ETF that passed, Bitcoin's happened a year ago. Ethereum happened a year ago. And we were in a different part of the cycle than we are now. I think we're all been talking about, and you guys watching as well, is we're towards the parabolic phase of the market, correct? So if these ETFs were passed when Ethereum was passed, I think I would lean more to the side of, yeah, we're probably going to see about 6 months of just chop, boring price action, and then we'll start seeing a pickup. We saw it with Bitcoin. We saw it with ETH. But being in the economic forum we're in now, Powell just cut rates. They're going to cut another 2 times by the end of the year. We don't know how much. Then we have just the cycle of the altcoins, and crypto is October, November are generally the most bullish months, especially a year removed from the halving. So my feeling is, and I don't have any data to back it up. That's why the question was not a data-based or question about what information do you have? It was, what do you think, right? What do you think based on historically what we've seen? I think with where we're at, the money that's about to flow in, the interest rates are being cut, money market funds, that money is hopefully going to start moving soon. And you have these products that are launching, in my opinion, at the perfect time. So I don't think we're going to see 6 to 8 months of lull price action where it's just chopping sideways and then a big move. I think this is just fuel to the fire of what's already been brewing underneath for altcoins like XRP, like Doge, and really the rest of them as well. We also have another ETF piece of news, another ETF spot that got approved essentially, which is Grayscale. We've talked about this. This is their large cap digital fund. They will be uplisting to the New York Stock Exchange and converting into a spot ETF tomorrow. It will also be changing its name to track a CoinDesk index. Now, this one has 5 coins: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, and Solana. 5. Now, the weights, the percentages of how they're weighted in the portfolio, I believe, I haven't looked at the exact percentages. I want to say it's Bitcoin and ETH are 1 and 2, Bitcoin taking the lion's share. And then I want to say Cardano was the smallest. I'm not sure, though. I would have to check it out. If any one of you watching, if you have the percentages of the weight and allocations in this fund of the 5 coins I listed, drop them in the chat because I'm very curious. We also had a $5 super chat from Mike Reinhardt. Say they are secretly trying to trigger altcoin season by passing these ETFs without a big announcement. I don't know. I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's the fact that it wasn't a big announcement. I mean, I saw it, I don't want to say everywhere on my feed, but you know, it was there, right? Especially when it comes from people like Eric Balkunas and James Seyfert, who are the ETF guys over at Bloomberg. And then when you get the tweet or the post that solidifies it from the actual company that I got approved from, yeah. So I think Rob's confusion was, we looked at a table of, well, what's the timeline of these approvals? We didn't see those on there. And so like, I get it. And honestly, as you're sharing news, you should be very, very paranoid about what news you're sharing, whether it's real or true. But from everything I've seen, this is 100% real. These are spot ETFs, direct exposure to the actual cryptocurrency, not just what the future price is going to be trading at. So what do we have on the docket next? Solana, Hedera, Litecoin, Cardano. I think Sui has one in the works. Pengu has one in the works. So the floodgates, the frenzy. That's why it's titled Frenzy. The frenzy is about to begin, and it's coming, in my opinion, at an absolute perfect time from a timing standpoint and from a macro timing standpoint, from the crypto cycle standpoint to the Jerome Powell standpoint. So I'm super bullish. These are all great projects, and so yeah. Any final thoughts before I move on?
No.
Cool. All right. Take a look at this chart. This one is interesting. Bitcoin illiquid supply reaches a new all-time high. Okay, this is posted by Bitcoin Archive, and I'll throw this on there. We'll shrink this down. So in your black line is Bitcoin's price, and in orange, which is your left axis, is your illiquid supply. Okay, so this is supply that's not readily available to be sold. This is supply that's locked away in a hardware wallet. This is supply that is sitting in some custodian account. This is not what's on exchanges, readily available to sell. And that is at all-time high. And it looks like, if my vision is correct, it's around 14.35 million Bitcoin is considered illiquid. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this, Rob? Do you think this number is going to continue to go up? Do you think that you look at something like this, does it tell you that it's going to take a lot smaller amount of money to move the markets? What are you kind of thinking?
You get an interesting spot during the thickest part of the bull market, right? When things are starting to get parabolic. I know price hasn't moved in a while, but we're pretty close to all-time highs. And so it hasn't historically taken much for Bitcoin's price to break out and go vertical. I mean, remember, we went essentially from like 70,000 up to that 100,000 pretty quick in one quick move. Same thing last bull market when we went up from 20,000 up to like 45,000. And so these big moves are typically normal in bull markets, and it's just because the price is reflected of the order books. And the order books, I think, are a little deeper now, but there's more money, right? There's more traders, there's more people, there's institutions, and so there's more players. So even though the order books might be deeper now than they were back in 2020, there's a lot more people vying for a small amount of Bitcoin. And so I'm not surprised to see volatility, or at least volatility that I think is going to come here shortly. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's, do you think this escalates? Do you think that all of a sudden there ends up being a supply squeeze, that the order books are going to get attacked hard? Like, what's your kind of thoughts? Like, I know you're kind of giving the interpretation of the data, but I mean, what's your kind of takeaway from this as well?
So it's very simple, right? We as humans tend to overcomplicate things. If a lot of people start wanting something and, well, the amount, you can't make more of it, then the price just goes up. And so there's less to sell. As long as there's a lot of people that want it and want to buy it, then the price is going to go up. It's very simple. And so, again, I look at the timing of where we are in the market. Now, the only question is going to be, is the crypto ETFs, the altcoin ETFs, are they going to be the new shiny toy? Are they going to be that toy that, you know, you bought a toy, like, for example, my kid's birthday is in September. He got a present, loves it, excited. I bet you when I buy him his Christmas presents and he opens that, he's going to forget about the present he got for his birthday. He's going to be, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever gotten. Are we going to see that in Wall Street? We've had Bitcoin for well over a year and a half. We've had Ethereum for a year. Are those going to take a back seat to the new shiny toy, which is Doge ETF, XRP ETF, Hedera, all of the above? That is a question I am asking myself. I'm concerned about. We're still seeing Michael Saylor buy. We're still seeing Metaplanet buy. Nayib Bukele and El Salvador, they're continuing to buy. We're not seeing a massive slowdown of companies that are launching digital asset treasuries. But again, is Wall Street going to be focused more on the new crypto ETFs? Because A, how much is Bitcoin up from all-time highs? 8x? Like a 7x, 6x, something like that?
Bitcoin?
Yeah. From its low, from its 2022 low, 16K. About a 7x. Let's just say a 7x, right? Ethereum has barely made an all-time high. Hedera has not made an all-time high. Cardano has not made a new all-time high. Solana has made a new all-time high. XRP, by market cap, I believe, has made an all-time high. Yep, Avalanche has not. You have a bunch that have not made all-time highs. So is Wall Street and investors looking at, well, Bitcoin's already 7x'd. These other ones, they haven't even gotten new all-time highs yet. And so where is the most ROI I can get for my money? I know I'm taking more risk, but let's face it, Solana, not that risky. Investing in Cardano, not that risky. Investing in Dogecoin, not that risky. So that is a question I have on my mind, is these crypto ETFs is going to be the shiny new toy. Without a shadow of a doubt, we saw it in the numbers. Ethereum ETF starts heating up, it draws away from Bitcoin inflows. We saw an inverse correlation. Bitcoin saw massive outflows, Ethereum saw massive inflows. Now we're seeing it kind of reverse a little bit. Is money going to flow out of Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs and flow into these altcoins? Just like we have the cycle of our markets, is Wall Street going to adopt that same cycle in the Wall Street market? I think it's an interesting question. What are your thoughts on that?
I think, I don't know if you're going to get the same cycle that you get out of the traditional retail as you get here. And I think that's because Wall Street and the U.S. economy they have followed 4-year cycles in the past, but they're a little bit more on the macro side, right? And so if you think that, let me ask yourself this question. Do you think that the U.S. economy will go into a bear market in 2026 next year?
I don't think so. No.
Well, here's the thing, if we were to follow the Bitcoin cycle, it would. So basically where I'm getting at is I think is that if the economy doesn't pull back, if we don't go into a bear market for the U.S. economy, the U.S. markets, then I find it hard to believe that you're going to get a bear market in crypto, because I think crypto now is highly dependent on the U.S. markets. And so there's a lot of money coming in from the U.S. markets. So if they're not selling, I'm not seeing a bear market. If you don't see the people that are holding the assets unwinding their position, you're not going to get a bear market. Especially if the bull market so far has been fueled by institutions, it also needs to be imploded or destroyed by institutions.
Which we know they're definitely capable of.
100%. And Wall Street will at one day, I don't know when, maybe it is next year. At some point, Wall Street will blow up crypto as far as popping a bubble, right? I mean, crypto's not going to be dead, but it's going to go through a bear market. And I think it's going to be off the back of whatever the new money is, right? What fueled last bull market? It was institutions or crypto institutions like Celsius, like protocols like Terra Luna, the surge of people with exchange took. Anyways, that money that flooded into the market, that value got instantly created out of nowhere and then just got frothy. That basically came unwind. That exploded, and that's what brought down the markets. And so right now, where is the money coming from? It's coming from institutions. It's coming from Wall Street. So Wall Street needs to be the trigger event for that thing to blow up. Also, doing some research. The XRPP and the Doge one, they're not exactly spot ETFs. They are a spot ETF, but they're not 100% backed like the ones that are passed. And so the XRPR, it's structured as a hybrid fund under the Investment Company Act of 1940. So operating as a registered investment company, it uses offshore subsidiary for tax efficiency to hold physical XRP. Now, they have to invest at least 40% of the assets into XRP-related ETFs or securities. And then they have to have a direct XRP holdings capped at around 25%, and up to 20% can be futures contracts and swaps. Now, the reason they didn't have to go through approval with the SEC is that they leveraged a loophole. So they leveraged the 40s Act expedited pathway, which allows for a 75-day review period without the needing of extensive SEC scrutiny. And so it enabled a quick launch this week, and it's the first of its kind without waiting for broader crypto clarity. So it's essentially a workaround to bypass the delays plaguing the current future spot filings. In contrast, the filings that we have now that we're waiting for approval are 100% backed 1-to-1. And so this one is still a spot product. It's not trading from a future price perspective, but the underlying asset does not need to be 100% XRP. And the way that they filed was a workaround that leveraged a 1940s act as well. So,
it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid, yeah. But they could. I mean, here's the thing: it's a minimum. So you could have a scenario where these products are 100% XRP, but the thing is they're not required to be. And so it could be a hybrid. It could be, and it's an offshore subsidiary offshore. Or maybe that's just per the application, but it's not the ones that have been filed 4 or 5 months ago. These are the ones that have been at it for a minute.
All right. We're about to bring our boy Drew on here in a second. While we onboard him, I want to kind of go over some price action here. And so we take a look, and let me pull up my... Oh, what the hell was that? The aliens. We've been taken over by the aliens. That was kind of cool. Can we push the laptop through or the computer through, my friends? So as far as price action, again, we kind of talked about BTC being at 117.8. It is up 1.6% on the day. We take a look at some of the top alts. ETH over $4,600. Feels like it's been a little stuck here on Ethereum. We like nibbled on 5K and then we spit it right back out. And so, yes, we got an all-time high. No, it wasn't a big all-time high or a massive move. But again, I think a big move is coming. And as the title of today's show says, altcoins are about to explode. XRP, $3.10. BNB hit $1,000. Let's take a look at a BNB chart real quick. BNB hit a G. $1,008, okay? Look at this price action from BNB. Let's get rid of market cipher A. I mean, is this like the best performing altcoin since June? From $600 to $1,000? What was this move here? Low to high. 70% move for BNB. Again, reaching $1,000. You can see from the headline here for the first time ever. Now, my co-host has mentioned he's very bullish on exchange tokens. And the question then becomes, right, we take a look at the price action of BNB. And I mentioned it was only in 2019, where it was sitting at $8. Sitting at $8, okay? So that's over 100x or 100x more than to the rising price action. So you look at some other ones, okay? I think the one that comes to my mind right off the rip is Kronos. Why? It's an ecosystem token. It's the big exchange behind it, and of course, also it's got the Kronos chain. So when you look at Kronos, 2020, it's been 4 years. It took BNB 6 years to 100x. Can Kronos 100x in 2 years? Can it get to $24 in 2 years? I'm curious to get the thoughts of our guests. I do want to bring on our friend Drew from the blockchain basement from Discover Crypto. Drew! Oh, you're driving. Hey, safety first, okay?
Oh, I'm good.
I know, I'm just kidding. Welcome, man. Also, I see we got Blockchain Basement. We got Discover Crypto fam up in here. So to all of you that got sent to our stream, welcome. Drew, I want to ask you a very important question. BNB, 100Xs in 6 years. Can Kronos 100X in the next let's say 2 to 4 years, taking into account when it was launched and so on and so forth? What are your thoughts? Or do you think there's another exchange token that can do what BNB just did?
I think decentralized exchange tokens actually are more likely to 100x than Crow. There's something that Crow had going for it last cycle, which is a 70% token burn / lockup that happened right before the gigapump.
My boy traveling through the woods over there. We got a little choppy connection. We'll bring Drew back.
Maybe the aliens got him. Maybe the aliens got him.
What's up?
Maybe the aliens got him.
The aliens got him. That was funny. That was hella funny. I guess, Rob, I'll ask you the same question. Is there an exchange token that comes to your mind that you think could have a BNB style run?
I mean, there's Kronos.
Think about your options. Yes,
there's Kronos. I've been bullish on Kronos from early in this bull market. If not, you could probably call it the bear market. And I don't have a list of my give me some exchange tokens. I don't have a list here. I know we
OKX,
got Get, OKX,
KCS.
OKX is interesting. The only problem is that they've they're highly manipulated. But I mean, if you want,
They're all highly manipulated.
But then if you want to talk
dude.
about
Man,
BNB,
come on, they're all highly manipulated.
Manipulated. Yeah, I just have to go with Kronos. I would say Kronos, and then after that, maybe who's got one? KuCoin's got one, right?
Yeah. KuCoin's got here. Here's a list.
I think
here's the list. You want to?
I would go KuCoin.
So yeah.
OKB. Do you like OKB?
Yeah, I don't mind it. They got their L1, right? Or L2. BitGet, Gate, FTX, FTT token. Can it make a comeback? No. Then you have a bunch of ones I've never heard of, like LCX, Woo. Shout out to Ric Flair. And so when you look at this list, Leo is an interesting one. That's Bitfinex, right? Leo, I believe, is Bitfinex. Let's take a look. Yeah. Leo is Bitfinex. KuCoin, I guess you have to either choose between OKB and Kronos, right? They both have an ecosystem.
I mean, I'm going a Kronos all day.
They're both large exchanges. I believe OKX is larger than Crypto.com on a global scale. So the question then becomes, BNB is sitting at...
If you look at market cap of Kronos
OKB has
versus,
more room.
I was going to say there's more upside there.
On OKB, yeah. But then you can argue, well, who has more stuff going on in the ecosystem? Who's got more users? Who's got more things happening, right? Crypto.com is in bed with the Trump family, Trump Media, Truth Social, ETFs. They're moving into stocks and commodities and RWAs on their direct platform. If you looked at their roadmap. And OKB is, I mean, they just burned like half of their entire supply. That's why we saw that big move. So I don't know. BNB, though, you're looking at $138 billion market cap. And so for Kronos to get there, you're talking about a 15x, right? A 15x, about a 15x, and a little more. And then for OKB to get there, you're talking about a damn near 30x. And so I don't know. I can't definitively say, hey, I really feel confident that Kronos or OKB are going to have a BNB style run. We're talking about the largest exchange in the world in Binance, the most liquidity in the world. You can argue Bybit in Binance. And so I think the parallels now coming back to, what is it going to look like in the US? Is Binance going to scrap Binance US and just bring the main one on? I don't know. That's the question. Drew, you're back.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. It's like 99 degrees out, and my phone just shut off. It's like emergency mode because how freaking hot it is out here.
Fair enough. Can't be harder than Vegas.
Yeah, I don't think Pro's not going to 100x in the next 2 years, man. Like, it's got fundamentals because of the true social integration for sure. I'm not trying to say it's not going to pump, but they did a 70% token release, right? I mean, they basically have completely opposite tokenomic look leading into the end of this blow off top for the alt season. So I don't think it's going to do the 100x from this, next year or two. Yes, it's going to pump. I'm more so interested in the decentralized exchange tokens, those small players, those ones that, like Aster today, CZ, pushing Aster forward to compete with Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid making Binance and Coinbase compete for trader mindshare. I think that those are really where some insane gains can be made. They're native tokens on decentralized exchanges. They're disruptive. They're new. They're being released right at the perfect time of the bull market. I think that's where the better juice and the better chance of 100x is.
I agree. And you look at not just Aster, but I remember a week ago, MYX. That's another perpetuals exchange. And so it's something we've been talking about. I know you've been talking about it too, is the U.S. consumer, the U.S. markets are about to get exposure to perpetual futures and derivatives trading. It's a race to who can grab market share, and it's Hyperliquid. I mean, real quick, do you think Hyperliquid can get to 100 billion in market cap? Drew?
Yes, get to 100 billion in market cap.
Yeah.
That is really hard to tell. You know, Hyperliquid, it's pretty damn close to it right now. I think it's like number 8 or 9 in terms of market cap.
Drew, it's number 11, and it's got a market cap.
If you take out stables, it's technically number 9 in terms of crypto project.
Yeah.
In this current.
That phone will be melting again. It's definitely the aliens after the second time. If your phone gets shut off twice from heat, it's definitely the aliens. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Am I crazy to think? And I know the fully diluted market cap of Hyperliquid is 58 billion, but you know the circulating market cap is 20. I think it could 5x. I really do, man. $300, $250. What's 4 times 6? $240. $300. I really think it can. I don't know. I want to know what the chat thinks. Chat, watching, please do me a favor. If you think Hyperliquid can get to $100 billion, so a 5x, can Hyperliquid 5x? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I'm a yes. Rob is a... He's a yes.
Yeah.
He's a yes. Come on. Bro, you have the top stablecoin issuers falling over themselves to try to launch the USDH, the Hyperliquid stablecoin. Come on. It's going to 5x. It's easy peasy, lemon breezy, squeezy measy. I don't know what I'm saying here, but that's okay. So decentralized exchanges and centralized exchange tokens, I think they're all going to be great. With that being said, I want to show a video of Brian Armstrong. He was at Capitol Hill. I saw Charles Hoskinson was there as well. I'm sure a lot of other people were there. But take a listen, kind of what he said and what they're looking to do with the market structure bill. Here is Senor Brian Armstrong.
Hey everyone, I'm here in Washington, D.C. again, fighting for your rights to try to get some market structure legislation passed for crypto. This would be foundational, just like we did for stablecoins a few months ago with the Genius Act. Market structure legislation protects all the other non-stablecoin crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum. The Senate is strongly supportive of getting this done. The members that I met with on both sides of the aisle are ready to get this legislation passed, and there's draft text now being exchanged back and forth and with the industry for comment, which is great. We saw a lot of alignment today. Now, of course, this hasn't stopped the big banks from trying to throw a wrench into things, and they're trying to ban rewards on stablecoins. The members of the Senate who I spoke to, they're not going to let that happen. That was already litigated and decided in the Genius Act for stablecoins. They're not going to bring it up again. But barring these little details here and there, I think this thing has a good chance of getting done. I've actually never been more bullish on market structure getting passed. It's a freight train leaving the station. So we're going to keep showing up and fighting for your rights. You can do a lot to help by going to standwithcrypto.org and contacting your representatives. Let them know that you want to see market structure legislation passed for crypto.
Now, this bill that Brian just spoke about is what the likes of Charles Hoskinson have pointed to and said that is going to kickstart the massive parabolic run. I don't know, maybe. What are your thoughts on that, Rob, and any thoughts on what Mr. Armstrong just told us?
Well, I mean, I think I haven't heard much on people discussing the position of the U.S. government and the different offices of the government, like the SEC, CFTC, and how bullish the U.S. is, right? I think a lot of times we forget, right? Because a year ago, we had Gary Gensler at the helm. A year ago, every crypto company is essentially getting sued. A year ago, it was uncertainty. And we used to go to conferences, and me and you would go to conferences, and every time we went up to a booth, if they weren't a very, very small select group of crypto projects, they all just said, hey, we don't operate in the U.S. Our headquarters is outside the U.S. Like, we can't get exchange listings out here. Everything was negative. And then, like, what a 180 market structure bill. Great. I can't really translate the details of it other than like, hey, it's a step forward. It's what we need, right? We do need clarity, even though like you don't want the government messing with your crypto at all. At the end of the day, if you want, you can go spot buy. If you don't want the crypto to, if you don't want government to step in and mess around with your crypto, if you want to be a rogue agent and say, F the government, I'm going to buy my Bitcoin. And like, you can still do that. Nobody's stopping you, but it's everyone else that, has retirement accounts, that has a 401k, that has a trading account on Wall Street and, has a portfolio. And these are the individuals that aren't going to go through the loopholes of, or I don't want to say loopholes, but aren't going to go through the due diligence of buying on an exchange, pulling it off and self-custodying it and not losing the private keys. Like there's a select few amount of people that'll do that. Same thing if you're if you're really big into gold, don't buy the paper version. Just get a safe and buy gold, or, buy gold and then, stick it in a bank in a vault, in a safety lock box or something like that. There's a small amount of people that do that. Realistically, people that own gold are people that just go out and buy it on the market. Same thing for Bitcoin. But if you're gonna do that, you gotta have framework in place, right? You gotta have, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna have the same thing that happened in the last bull market, where Celsius and all of these other, what was that, BlockFi, Celsius, there were a handful of companies that were custodying Bitcoin for you. Why? Because the banks didn't have oversight on crypto. They didn't have a pathway to do it. There was no framework for any U.S. companies to offer crypto services. And because of that, you had to go offshore and go some sketchy ass exchange or sketchy ass platform. And then that there was no regulatory, checks and balances there, accountability, and it all came unwound. And it's because there was no regulation. So, I mean, it can be boring to talk about, things that are in government. But at the end of the day, if you're a crypto holder, you're looking for the next leg in the bull market, it's the next necessary step. So.
Dusty Hunt said, dude in the back listening to Hanson. Isn't that the three guys, the three brothers? I know there's like a Hanson drink, and then there's, yeah. Anyways, we had a super chat from X Wicked talking about Jupiter. They do a yearly airdrop. They call it Jupuary. Happens in January. Also, Jimmy's been a member for 37 months. A well member. He said, "What do I get?" I said, "An air hug." He thought he was getting a Rolex. That's actually after 37 years, you would get a Rolex. And so come back to us when that time is here. Also, I'd like to know, those of you that's your first time checking out our channel, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. We go live Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here on this channel, we also do some trading shows as well. Now, I want to share. Did you see this? Well, Donald Trump in all gold, holding a Bitcoin, also in all gold. This was erected in front of the U.S. Capitol building. A lot of people are pointing to this and say, "Oh, the top is in."
Are you sure this isn't a AI thing?
I saw it posted by multiple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I always double check stuff that kind of sounds too good to be true. And so I double checked this one. Seems real. We could have all gotten faked, but yeah. What rating would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being, wow, this shit sucks. 10 being, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
I would say this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It's
Golden statue is tribute to the president 45 and 47, the Bitcoin president.
Why do I feel like if you walked up to the statue, it would be like one of those the ones you see on TikTok where the statue all of a sudden moves and scares you, and then it's like a guy with a little tip bucket next to him.
I mean, dude, this is pretty good. You know what I think about? There's a lot of these NBA players that get statues, and you look at their statues, like the Dwayne Wade statue, like, what the hell is that? And this is pretty good. They got the hair, the smile, him holding a Bitcoin. I would definitely agree that Donald Trump is the Bitcoin president. He's been the most bullish president when it comes to our space, whether you like him or not. If you isolate and just speak about what he's done for crypto and Bitcoin, you can't argue he's been the best president for our space. And so, yeah, something interesting that I saw. Another interesting comment by none other than Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, co-founder of Ethereum. Rob, so we've been showing data about the exit queue for Ethereum validators, right? Well, Vitalik defends Ethereum staking exit queue, describing unstaking as, quote, like a soldier deciding to quit the army, and emphasizing that friction in quitting is essential. An army cannot hold together if any percent of it can suddenly leave at any time. Some people are saying, like certain communities that have liquid staking, say, why do I got to wait 30 days? What? You should just have it liquid. And this was his response to that. Exit queue numbers are historically high, the highest they've ever been. Meaning, what does that mean? If you're watching this, like, what the hell are you talking about? The people that staked the 32 Ethereum to become a validator, they have now unstaked it to now remove their Ethereum out of the validator queue and just take it and do as they please. Now, the first thought of people get is, okay, if you unstake it, that means you're not going to get the rewards. And if you don't want to get the rewards, then why would you hold Ethereum in the first place if you've been staking it to get the rewards?
Let me ask you something.
You assume they're going to sell.
Let me ask you something.
What?
If you had a company and you bought stock in their company, and the company was like, hey, man, you can't, if you want to sell this, you got to let us know and then wait 90 days. And I know stocks and securities different in crypto, but at the end of the day, you always heard, like, from the SEC, it's an investment contract, right? I mean, you're buying ETH for that reason. Ain't nobody buying ETH because they want to, like, help the network, right? There's probably a few people, but realistically, if you're buying ETH, you're buying Cardano, you're buying Bitcoin, you're not trying to, like, help some generated ones and zeros because you're so ethically proud of.
Speak for yourself, man.
Stop it. And, you know, everyone's trying to make a buck out here, right? And it's a better alternative than the fiat system. So, you know, hey, you know what? If I can get more people to join in on this, less people losing money. At the end of the day, people are buying it to make money, and people are investing because I can put my money into one chain or another. And so to hold somebody hostage and say, like, hey, you know what? You're in an army, you can't quit. It seems like a reach, man. And I wouldn't want my personal investments to be handled that way by any other company.
But that's a little different. I think you're comparing apples to oranges.
I am. And I like apples, and I'm not liking oranges right now.
Well, you can't compare them, you dummy.
You can, because they're both investment contracts. That's where I'm getting at.
No, they're not.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Can you unstake from Cardano when you want?
Yes, that's
now here's the next question. Could you unstake from Ethereum if they changed the programming language? Could they change it? Did they add that in because it was necessary, or did they add that in to hold on to users?
It was how it was built out, dude.
Yeah, but you think that they built it in a way that they were like, you know what? This whole thing's not going to work unless we force people to stay here and hold our token. No, they deliberately put that in there for people not to sell and to lock up liquidity. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying I'm not a fan of it. In the same way that's like, you don't have to have slashing penalties. It's probably a good idea for people that are staking to, you know, act maliciously to get their...
Let me ask you a question. You and I have both worked for the Culinary Union here in Las Vegas, correct? The largest union in Nevada, one of the largest in the country. What happens if more than 30% of workers decide during their shift to just leave? What is that considered?
Walkout or strike.
A strike, correct. And you can be reprimanded for it, yes? Yeah. He's saying the same thing. You're talking about selling. He's talking about these are people that are contributing to the network. And if we just let them all leave at once, and I'm not making the case for him, I believe more in liquid staking, make your product better and just stop, make people want to stay, right? So I'm not advocating.
You make people want to stay by just the product and the demand. Like Bitcoin here, for example. If you want to spin up a Bitcoin node, or you want to go and mine Bitcoin, go and provide hash power to the network, that's your own choice. You don't get penalized for deciding to unplug your miners. Like, right? Like you if I decide like, hey, you know what? I don't want to mine Bitcoin today, and I unplug my miner, I should not get penalized for it. And that's essentially what they're doing here, is that you have people that are, you know, because it's proof of stake now, that are validating blocks per staking, and they decide to unplug their staking the same way that you unplug a Bitcoin miner. Now they're getting penalized for it. It seems like it's unnecessary. You don't need to do it. Just trust the market. If Ethereum is so great, you shouldn't worry about people wanting to leave. You should just be like, hey, people will come in and mine or stake their ETH, earn their rewards because of the product.
Hey,
in the same way that people are doing
You understand, Rob, 90 some odd % of layer 1 blockchains are the same. They require you to wait to unstake. You realize that, right? Cardano is one of the very few that has liquid staking. You don't need to wait. You don't need a certain amount. You don't need this and that. Okay? Solana, you got to wait. Sui, believe you got to wait. Ethereum, you got to wait.
I don't know if it's.
You got to wait.
I don't know if it's majority. I would have to see some more. I'd have to see some more data on that.
DYOR, my friend.
But even if it's not, like, hey, even if that's the case, the norm should be, hey, let people unstake and stake at will. And in the same way that I can plug in my Bitcoin miner and I can unplug it, you shouldn't force people to stay on the network and hold their money ransom because you don't want people to leave. It sounds desperate, and I don't like it.
It's not an Ethereum issue, man.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is.
All right. We're done for the day. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I text Drew. We're going to bring him back another time where he has better connection. And so, again, if you're new, your first time watching, welcome. Typically, my friend Rob here is sitting right next to me. Rob, you want to slam over to the white shot real quick, my friend? Usually, we're this close to each other. Last minute changes. Rob had to go back there and hop on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. So big thanks to Rob and Antoine back there for producing the show. And to all of you that came over from Discover Crypto and Blockchain Basement, welcome. We hope you can come back tomorrow and check out our live show in the morning. With that being said, Robbo.
We don't have any outro music.
We don't got outro?
No.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.